Hey guys, it's me once again. It's been a while since I did one of these videos, but this subject has returned again in the horror community, and I really tried to shut up. I did, because I have a habit of going off the rails on these videos. But I'm going to try to maintain myself. No promises, but I'll try. So I seen a comment about how people who contribute to films, such as like an Indiegogo, we have all these kind of perks. You get a T-shirt, you get a DVD, you get a poster, but then you get the big ones. You get the associate producer, executive producer. Some of them even have a director for a day or whatever it may be. And I see a lot of these people who do the crowdfunding don't really appreciate it. Oh, they love your money. They love to take the money to make their film, but they don't like to give the credit. Now, I'm going to go back a little bit. Years ago, people who did movies were all people that went to school. Went to school for this, went to school for directing or uh, art or whatever it may be, special effects. You get the gist of what I'm saying. But, over the last decade, crowdfunding has become a more popular thing now because, you know, the uh, the smaller guys in the world want to be involved too. And so they came up with things like Kickstarter or Indiegogo, and they promise to give you these perks, and it's great. So you feel like you're part of the film. Um, you're contributing to something that you believe in. That the producer, the director, the writer, or even a promoter has convinced you that this is a project to become involved in. And then they put little different tiers of, like I said, different merch or different perks of being in the film. Now, this is not the old school way anymore. Anyone can make a film now. You don't even have to go to school to make a film. So my question is, if people who contribute aren't really executive producers or producers, does that make a first-time director not a director because they didn't go to school for it? Of course they're the director. They're the one that came up with this idea. They're the one that put it together. They're the ones that are asking for help. You don't today in today's day of filmmaking, you don't need to go to school anymore, because we're making films for fans, right? That's all it is. Whatever direction you're going, if you're doing a Hollywood film, you're doing an independent film, you're doing a fan film, you're still doing something that you believe in, and you have other people believing in it too, enough to the point where they're donating anywhere from $10 for like a thank you to a couple $100 for being a main background figure, executive producer. And for you to say, well, hey, I'll take your $400, but you're not really a producer. That's a double standard. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't just tell somebody they're going to be a producer and then say, oh, by the way, you're not really a producer because you didn't go to school for it. But you were fine with taking their money, right? So, and a lot of executive producers uh, did stuff, basically contributed just their money. Yeah, would they be on set sometimes? Sure. But the executive producer really is the money person, isn't it? So when I've now I'm not, and I'm speaking differently this time, because when I did a video like this before, I was heavily involved in this. So of course I'm gonna speak my mind on it. I'm not really involved much anymore. I'll get emails to say, "Hey, you want to be part of this? You want to be part of that?" But like, I think I'm part of one movie right now. But I can speak on this because the one movie that I was heavily involved in a couple years ago, Social Distance, which now has been renamed to Seventh Revelation. You know, I was executive producer, and guess what? I got awards for being part of that. But I'm just a crowdfunder. But my name is still recognized as winning awards. But how, according to some people, how can that be? Because I'm not a real producer. Because there are people out there with integrity to say, hey, you help make my film. So I'm going to give you this credit. I'm going to put you on. I'm on the boxes. I'm on the DVDs. I'm on that poster back there. But I'm not a real producer, right? If you open a crowdfunder, what you're doing is you're opening your project to everyone else now. So whether you get a producer perk, whether you get a poster perk, a DVD perk, or just, hey, here's $10, thank you. You have rights to claim to that film now. And for you directors out there who don't treat your contributors that way, don't open an Indiegogo. Don't ask for help. If you're not willing to thank people the correct way, then that means you should have no right to even ask for people for money. Zero right. And what's the funniest part is that some of these projects, when they do open these Indiegogos, they'll say, thank you. They'll thank you on your personal page. They'll thank you on these fan pages. They'll thank you on the movie page that they create. But then when that person says, I'm an executive producer of, I'll just use me. I'm an executive producer for Seventh Revelation. I know that the director totally appreciates me. But if I use another movie and that person comes back and says, oh, well, yeah, thank you for your contribution, but you're not really a producer. How does that make me feel now? That I dug in my pocket. I'm not a rich guy. But I believe in movies. I'm a horror movie fan. I've even contributed to non-horror movies. If I read whether they share a script with me, whether they share just a trailer with me, or just their ideas, and I'm like, wow, I want to help you make that happen. And you open a Indiegogo, and I help with that, and I'm a promoter. When I'm dedicated to a project, I'll promote the shit out of it. And then if someone comes back and says, well, thank you for your help, but this is kind of why I've gotten out of the business. Because there's far too many people that don't appreciate. There's a ton that do. And to those people, much love. I'm sick of this. Oh, I need help. Oh, I need help to build up my movie. And then when you get the money and you are making it, then you turn your cheek and you say, well, they're not a real producer. Oh, but I was a real producer when I put my money towards it, right? It's this whole world of it's all about me. Welcome to the new school of filmmaking. It's sad. It's sad that the greed that's out there, it's me, 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 me. But your films wouldn't be made without people like me, 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 me. Or him, 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 him. Or her, 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 her. But somewhere along the lines you forget that. You forget that the only reason you have a movie coming out, or you had a movie come out, or you did a movie 5 years ago that came out. How did you get there? Because you asked for help. For those people who go to school for this, I applaud you. I can't afford that shit. But I applaud you. You went out and got your dream. You made good on it. Congrats. But like I said, once websites like Kickstarter came out, like Indiegogo came out, and once you promote it and say, do you want to be involved in a film? It didn't say involved for now, it said involved. Do you want to be part of a film? It didn't say part of a film for now, it said be a part of the film. Or do you want to be a producer on this film? It didn't say producer for now, it said producer. You can't pick and choose when someone is a producer. And like I said, if you don't like the things I'm saying, don't use Indiegogo. Don't use Kickstarter. Go around your town and ask people for money. See how far that gets you. Because, see, being on the internet, you can be part of these groups that share your interests, share horror movies. So, of course, when you promote in a group of horror movie fans, you're going to get horror movie fans' response. You walk around your own town, you don't know who's a horror movie fan. Well, you going to walk up to everybody and say, hey, you a horror movie fan? No, you're not going to do that. But Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever you use, you post that question and you get a whole bunch of responses. Guess what? You're going to pitch that idea to these people. And that's the same thing Indiegogo does, is it pitches this idea of being part of a horror movie, being part of an experience of creating movies. Like I said, if you don't want people to ask about a project or what's going on a project, then don't do Indiegogo. Like I said, even if you get a T-shirt, even if you contributed $5, $10, whatever the thank you purchase, you help that movie. Be proud of it. Don't let people who think they're high and mighty or they're the director, so their say goes. No, don't let them take away what you did. So I think I maintained myself pretty good. Because I think the last video I was like, I was all in and I was screaming and I was blah, blah, blah. But feel free to comment, positive or negative, because I'll have a response. Feel free to share this to people who you think will either agree with me or disagree with me. Because guess what? All you're doing is helping my algorithms. Hey, who knows? Maybe I'll do a movie someday. I am writing something right now. It's kind of a long process, but I'll get that. That's just a story for another time. But if that book ever gets finished and I decide to make it a movie, guess what? Anyone that does contribute, because I will use Indiegogo, but guess what? You will be part of my movie. No ifs, ands, or buts. Much love, everybody.